Hey guys, me again. Just back today. What I wanted to talk about today was how we can help you get the most out of your promotional products and marketing strategy. So really there are about maybe 7 steps that I would say that really help us determine the best promotional products for you guys and how to get the most out of your strategy. So the first one is to define your target market. So I know this is normally a given, but to really define who your customers are, what they like, who do you really want to reach through the promotional products? Who's your target market? I know that for some events it could be a whole range of people, but really just honing in on who is the main one you actually want to get through the promotional products. Who do you want your leads to come from? Who's going to give you the most investment through the activation of this strategy? So the second thing is to really know your customer. So it kind of plays into the same thing. Once you determine who you want to target, your target market, it's really how well do you know them? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? What are their problems? That really helps us be able to find out some solutions for you. So once we know their problems, we know what the solutions are. Also things like their interests and what they do on a daily basis really helps to know what we can suggest that will fit in with their lifestyle, depending on what type of campaign you're doing. The third thing is to be creative. So we can really help you on that part. Don't worry about it. But to get really the most out of your campaign, it's really about being creative, finding a new way to target your market. By knowing them, it gives us a better idea of how we can do that through a creative way. That's going to actually add value, because once the promotional product adds value to their life, your brand is adding value to their life. As I've said previously, people really identify your brand with the promotional products you give them as well. So it's really important that we encompass what your brand is trying to say through the promotional product, but also the quality of your brand through it as well. So obviously with some events, they're always going to be cheap giveaways, things that they're on a large scale. You're on a budget, we understand that, but there's also things that we don't want to go too low quality because we don't want that to encompass your brand. A lot of people, if you get a drink bottle and it's faulty or something like that, people take that on the brand. So that's something we're really conscious about, and we'll be upfront with you about that as well, to really try and get the best. It's not about money making, it's purely about if you're selling a premium item and you're not giving them a premium promotional product, at times if that product breaks, that's what they're going to think that your brand does. So we don't want that to ever happen. Of course, we always source products that don't necessarily break, don't get me wrong, but just things that are going to last, longevity, and the look of things as well. If you have a luxe brand, you want a luxe feel for a promotional product to really make sure you're, consistent throughout all of your branding and promotional products and campaigns. Number 4, so know your why. So why are you actually doing it? What do you want to achieve through the promotional product? What's your goal? Sometimes we think that we've got the best idea in the world. Guilty. But it doesn't actually work for your consumer or why you're actually doing it. So always let us know why. Let us know what your goal is, and we can always come up with extra added value, extra ideas, and just gives us a better idea of what to suggest. It could even be a different branding method or something like that to really get across what your message is, and give you the best value for your money as well. Number 5 is to split up your budget. So as I said before, there's always going to be events where they're giveaways, or on large scales where you are going to need those smaller or not premium products, and that's perfectly fine. But split that up. If you've got a luxe brand, know that sometimes those premium products are going to be a bit more. So I always like to try and split that budget to get a nice even value. That way you're giving your market a great way, and you also want to make sure you have enough products to get you through the whole event. So don't go spending a crazy amount straight up on your luxe products either. You've really got to make sure that you can get as many, promotional opportunities throughout that budget. And that's why it also helps to really know your customer and give us that brief when you do first come to us, purely because we can help you get the best value for money. So the thing is, if you let us know your budget straight up, we can work within that. but also we don't want you to spend money on products that aren't going to work for you, that aren't going to bring you in an investment or leads or that brand exposure that you wanted to get. So we don't want you to waste your budget. There's no point of it. That's not our goal, that's not your goal, and it doesn't help either of us. So if we know that straight up, we can work with it really, really well. And number 6 is to think about creating an experience, especially with COVID and doing things online. It's now more than ever about creating a customer experience, more than just giving them a product and selling them a product. So it's really about thinking when they get it, what excitement things can we do? Maybe it's packaging, maybe it's the way we deliver it. It's just something different. So that's why we always say, give us your brief and we'll take over the creativeness from there. We're always happy to help and work within you guys. So please don't ever feel afraid to tell us an idea and run with it. They're not always going to be the best idea or the idea that you had in mind, but it might be something that you didn't think of, or something that you didn't think was possible, and that's why you didn't have the ideas. So please, we're really happy and we really love the creative side of doing that, and that's what we're all about. And number 7, always think about your exposure. So exposure is so important. It's sometimes your things like your one-off products versus your, like I said before, products that people would use every day, because you're getting so much more brand exposure for the same amount of money. So I always like to think about things like that as well. I know that there's always going to be time and place for things like one-off consumables, but if you can get a product that hits the mark on your branding, your message, what you're trying to achieve, and you can use it again and again, you are getting so much more brand exposure. So they say that at least 60% of people actually have a promotional product in their house that they reuse over and over again that they see. That is so much free advertising for you, and that's what we want. That exposure is going to drive leads, it's going to drive interest into your brand. People will see other people using it and go, oh, what's that brand? I'm going to look them up on the internet. Everything is on your phone at the moment. Information is at the click of your fingers, and that's what we want to do. We want to drive traffic to your website, drive leads through brand exposure, make sure your message is out there so that when they do need your service or your product, you're the first thing they think of because they've seen your logo so many times somewhere. And that is what it's all about. So they're my top 7 tips to really try and get the most out of your promotional products. So when you are speaking with us, please feel free to send us through briefs. Give us as much detail as possible. You can't talk our ear off enough. So please, more detail the better so we can make it work for you, because that's what we really want. Our success is your success, and there's nothing better than seeing a successful campaign brought to life. So we're really excited to work with you in 2021. So I look forward to seeing all of your briefs and getting creative.